Good morning, everyone. I wanted to make a short video here. First of all, thanking you for coming out and helping us with the race. Without people like you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So, thank you very much from all of us at Swimrun at Udalo. But I wanted to make this short video just to go over in person, essentially, even though it's digital here, the map that we sent you guys and just talk briefly about the positions because sometimes it helps when you hear someone go over it versus reading it and trying to figure it out on your own. So I'll try to make this as quick as possible. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So the sheet that's been shared with you has the shift times. It should also have a section where I put in the coordinates where you can park, as well as the coordinates of where your job, the task actually happens, that location. So we're just going to go along and get to each swim because the swims are where most of the positions happen. And I'll go over the positions on each swim and we'll go from there. So the base of operations is Whistler Mountain Ski Club. That's right here. That's where the race starts and ends. That's where the managers will be, the coordinators, some of our staff, the numbers you get to check in and out with. That's where those people will be stationed. They may move around a bit. They may come out on the course, but for the most part, that's where they're going to be stationed here and run operations out of there when you call them to check in and out or with any issues you might have. Every position needs to go directly to their position. If you would like to get your shirt ahead of time, we will do our best to have them out at the stations for you. But if you would like to come into the ski club in the morning, well before your position starts, make sure if you're going to do that, you plan ahead. You can come get the shirt there from JR, or if your manager's there, they'll have that for you. Look by the start finish line. They're orange shirts. So if you see a box of orange shirts, you're certainly welcome to go through and find your size there. You can also stop into packet pickup the um, day before, which that information is on our website, but I will include that in the job descriptions as well. So if you wanted to come to packet pickup 1 to 4 on Saturday, if you're around, they should have some volunteer shirts there. You don't need to check in or anything. Just tell them you're a volunteer and they'll get you a shirt. So you'll be all set if you want to do that. Or if you don't really care about the shirt, it's not absolutely mandatory that you wear it. You can always get it after your shift's done if you want to come get a meal at Whistler Ski Mountain or Ski Club, and you can get your meal and get your shirt after. You don't have to wear it for the position. So, however you want to handle that, just want to give you some info. So the race starts, and the first thing they do is go down to Alpha Lake here. So, um, if you're this kayaker on Alpha Lake, you're going to park here. The parking is as close as we thought you could park, so please don't fault us if it's not exact. It'll get you close to either a parking lot or street parking. Make sure you look for signs. Make sure you're not in a position of getting towed if it says you shouldn't park there. But you can park as close to where we have the parking as possible and then find your way. Just a point of reference, this map that we have, if you pull this up on site and you have reception, you'll show up as a little blue dot live on this map, and you can actually watch yourself walk and guide yourself with the map live to where you need to be. Okay, so this first position here is kayaker. For all kayakers, wherever we have you park is likely not right next to where you're going to put the kayak into the water. So if you can drive right up to where you launch it or a lot closer, park, put your hazards on, unload, put your kayak by the water, and then go officially like park where you need to, that's fine too. However, whatever makes your job easiest, as long as it's safe and you're not breaking any rules. All right. Okay, so for all kayaks, once you launch your kayak, this position here is only one kayak. So this kayak would go from start to finish, back and forth, kind of just monitoring this. If the swimmers are getting in and they're swimming a straight line, you see that they're identifying where the flag is and everything's good, then maybe you just sit in the middle and watch them from start to finish. Things that could happen during the swim, people could just need a break. They can hang on to the front of your kayak or your stand-up board or your boat or whatever you have. They need to hang on to the front so you can see them. They also need to be sure that if they're hanging on, you're not moving. If you need to go help someone or you need to move along on the course, they need to let go. There's no forward motion allowed when they're hanging on to your boat. If they need help, most of the time they'll wave their arms, they'll make a noise. In extreme situations that may not happen, look for people that are floating, people that are waving their arms, yelling, people that have a yellow tube that auto inflates. The solo athletes, the race is made up of teams of two that stick together the whole time. It's not a relay. They act as one, going together even during the swim. They do not have an auto-inflating buoy because they are looking out for each other, and a lot of them are tethered together during the swim. The solo athletes that are just one athlete going about their business, they are given a free rental of a rescue tube, it's called, or a rest tube, I'm sorry. And it's kind of like a little fanny pack around their waist, and it's got a rip cord with a whistle on it. So if they get in trouble, they can pull that, and it auto inflates. And it's a big yellow buoy. You'll see it. It's cylindrical. It's long, but bright yellow. So they should be holding on to that, or it should be floating next to them, whatever happens. So if that happens, you know that's more of an extreme nature. As a kayak, if you can help them, if you need help getting, or if you need to get them to shore, you can pull them to shore. You can aid them in that way. Your managers should have given you our medical team's contact number, cell phone number, as well as their number to contact if there's an emergency and they can get a hold of us. But you need to call in case of an emergency. If you're just kind of helping someone take a break or whatever in that regard and they continue on, we don't really need to know about any of that. If someone's okay, but they need help to shore and they're going to be disqualified, they're done for the day, but there's no real emergency there, that is something that isn't an emergency call to us, but maybe get their number, their bib number. They have bibs with numbers on them. That's how we identify them. Maybe get that number if you know someone was helped to the shore and they're disqualified, they're not continuing. Make sure we know the number so we know they didn't continue on. We're not looking for them. We know to disqualify them to keep it fair, and relay that information to us. So if you're in the kayak and this first position is going to go pretty quick, everyone's going to probably, this will be the busiest, but it'll also be the quickest. No one's coming back here later in the day to swim. So this will be the shortest one. And they'll kind of all follow each other. So get out of their way. Make sure people follow the tangents when they swim. Most of these swims are going to be on a tangent. So most direct point from A to B in most cases. So if you see them varying from the course, they're not swimming towards an exit flag or a buoy, then try to get them on course. Don't get in their way, but they do need to be corrected. Lightly tap them with your oar as they're swimming, wave to them, whatever you have to do to get their attention. Okay, so that's the gist of that. If overall your shift ends officially, we clear you. Wait for us to clear you. Someone, whether it's your manager, whether it's someone on course that's with the staff, that's with our race, one of our staff. Someone needs to officially clear you from your position, even if it seems like you know for sure it's done. Please don't leave your position until you are cleared. You're more than welcome to call us or your manager and ask if it's done. That's fine. You can inquire about that, but don't leave until someone gives you the go ahead to leave. With kayakers, all of you, when you're done with your position, if your shift isn't officially done, but you're done there, make your way back to the start and finish line at Whistler Mountain Ski Club and maybe just help out there for the remainder of your shift doing random things if that's all right. If your shift is officially done and it's run the entire length of it and you are cleared, once you're packed up, you're good to go. Okay, you don't need to come back if you don't want, but you're all welcome to join us for a meal at the finish. That is free. That is for you and your shirt if you didn't get it. Okay, so that's the first position. Second position here, they're going to run up to Needle Lake and they're going to swim this direction north. I have this water stop here. The water stops should already be set up for you. They'll have a cooler of water, a cooler with electrolytes in it, and there should be some extra refill stuff there as well. There should be a box of gels. Some of the water stops may have like peanut butter sandwiches and some snacks. They may not as well, but they all will have a water jug, an electrolyte jug, and gels, and a trash bag, and those should be set on tables. If there aren't tables, then there's something like a bench or a brick wall or something that these are set on where the athletes can get them. You do not need to necessarily serve the athletes. We appreciate if you do, but you're kind of there to overlook things if they need help, if they need some questions answered. We ask that you please do not answer questions you don't know the answer to. It is okay to tell them, I don't know the answer to that, because saying that is better than giving them incorrect information. So I have parking here on Drew Road. That's on the road here. Anywhere, make sure you get off the road safely. But for kayaks and for this water stop, you can park off the side of the road. Kayaks, if you all launch here, this is the easiest. Needle Lake Park, you could probably go to as well, but much harder to launch from there. Launch from here and then spread out. There's two kayaks here. I don't care who goes where. You guys can discuss that amongst yourselves. You can switch positions or later in the day, however you want to do it. But one of you will be in charge of the exit here and this first or this second half, and the other will patrol this first half. So kind of work out who does that. You can float in these areas where I have you positioned and just kind of gradually work your way back and forth across your spot in the lake. But you should launch from here and make your way to where you're going. Okay. So that's that position. That swim is a swim on the way out and a swim on the way back. So if you click it, you'll see it says swim two. Hold on one second. Sorry. But that is also swim eight down here. So you will see a whole bunch of swimmers go by in the beginning, and then you will have to wait quite a while to see the next group of swimmers. It may actually, I'm sorry, it may actually be a little quicker than we think because the World Series has to do this entire course if you see it. So they'll take a while coming back down to you, but experienced racers will come down rather quickly. So it may not be as long as I originally said there. Sorry. So the bibs that they're going to wear, they're color coded. The World Series is the longest. They are red bibs and red swim caps. The orange is sprint. They have about half the distance of the World Series, and they are orange bibs, orange swim caps. And then experience is pretty short. They're done quick. They only do a couple of the swims and stuff and the runs. So the experience is going to have purple caps and purple bibs. So at Needle Lake, you may see all of them come through every color and then a little bit of a break, and then purple will probably come through pretty quick as well. All right, so the swims themselves, for those of you on kayaks, there's nothing marking the entrance really. If you're a runner, you're going to be guided to it by our course markings, and then there'll be a little arrow on the ground point that says swim section, and it'll point them which direction to swim into the water. But in the kayak, you may not see any of that. So the swim you may start, you may not really notice. The swim exit should have, where I have these markers on the map, should have 10-foot tall orange flags. So that's relatively easy to see. Some of the swims, the swimmers will start and they may not be able to see, like on Needle Lake here, they may not be able to see this orange flag. It kind of wraps around the cove here. So if your section has something like that, you may need to kind of guide the swimmers a little bit. If they pop up and say, "Where's the flag? Where's the flag?" Tell them, hang a right just around that cove. You'll see it at the end of the lake, or whatever you need to tell them if that's the case. We've already kind of educated them in this, but you know how it goes when they race. They may have questions about that. All right, so that's Needle Lake. Sorry, hold on. Let me work my way up. Okay, so they'll split here and they'll go up, and where I have the first swim in Elta, where you're going to park, is up here at Rainbow Park. And in Needle Lake, you park to the south and work your way north, getting onto the course. But at this one, it's going to be the opposite. You're all going to park at Rainbow Park. When I say all, I mean the flagger, the water stop at the swim exit here, and then all three of these kayaks on the first swim. What I'm talking about now we're not talking about the second swim on their way back. That's on the other side. So Rainbow Park, for those of you in this first swim, which is swim three. You're going to park up here at Rainbow. Again, get as close as you can when you launch, and all three of you will kind of disperse out into the lake here and do your thing, and just decide who's going to be in what section among you. That's fine. There'll probably be some sailboats out here or motorboats out here, kind of patrolling both swims. You can see here when you park, and if you're at a water stop, just know the water stop should be set pretty close to where this icon is. So pull up your phone. Hopefully you have reception. If not, you can download this map offline. Just Google search how to download Google Maps offline. And if you get it all downloaded when you have reception, it should pop up and be easy to kind of navigate while you're out there. So you park over here and you just walk, find your way down towards this dock, and you'll see the water stop here. Um, this flag here, so the icons on here, I'm sorry. I'm going to work my way back real quick. This flag is not the exit flag like I originally said. There will be exit flags, but we don't mark them on here. It's just where the exit is. There's a big exit flag there in orange. This is actually one of the flagger positions. It's the first flagger position. It's 1 in 5. This is your position, it's very important that you watch for bike traffic here. Bikes will come flying. If I remember correctly, the runners come out and they go uphill. This is a big uphill. So bikers will come down very fast here. And so anyone coming out of the swim may cross over, be lightheaded out of their mind a little bit because they just swam. They may not be looking. So if you're a flagger anywhere really, your job is not to stop vehicles. It's not to stop bikers or pedestrians. Let them cross. You can warn them if you want, like, hey, runners on the course, be careful or whatever, right? But don't step in front of them. The course is completely open and they have the right of way. We do not. So if swimmers or runners or whatever during the race are coming through here, you as a flagger, you can stop them. They're a part of the race. You're part of the race. Stop them and say, hey, wait, 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 bike coming down. It's not safe. All right, go, go. Be careful. Bikes are coming down hard, fast down this trail. There are bikes that come up the other way as well that'll come up behind them. But again, they're going to be climbing this big hill, so they're not coming as fast. But be aware in that spot as a flagger that that's going to be rough. Now, your parking for that flagging position is up here at Needle Lake Park. That's how we get you closer. If you know a closer way to park, that's fine, but you will have to walk this valley trail. It's a little bit of a walk. You can use your phone once you get on here to see where you're at, and you'll get here and you'll see that big orange flag where they exit the swim, and you'll see where they get on the trail there, and just that's where you're going to hang out and just be careful. Okay. So back up to what I was talking about. Kayaks are on course here. Water stop right there. This is another flagger position. So you don't see it on this map because we only have World Series marked on this map, but right here should be signs in the ground that are color coded. Orange, red. I do not believe there's purple here because I think the experience has already veered off and I don't think they come up here. But the point is for the rest of these flagging positions, we have you here to make sure that the correct athletes go the right way. So we will probably come out as the race progresses, someone from our staff, and talk to you about that. But if we don't, look on the ground. It's as simple as that. You'll see color-coded flags that point different distances in different directions. They will match orange to orange athletes, red signs to red athletes. But the thing is, a lot of times when these athletes are going, they're talking, they're not necessarily paying attention. They're working hard, adrenaline's going, so they're a little out of their mind. So they may miss that. We remind them that it's heads up racing. They need to look around. But your job as a flagger is to be educated on telling them the correct direction based on what you see on those signs and making sure they slow down a little bit. They look at those signs, they see them, and they go the right direction. If you get there, you don't see the signs, you have questions, call in on the manager. We will get someone to you. We'll explain it to you, whatever needs to happen. If you're unsure, again, do not give them incorrect information. Okay, so that's that swim. I'm going to try and hurry this along a little bit here. Heading up all the way up here. So for those of you that are up by the secondary school, this is where you're going to park. So you'll notice that when you park up here and you start to walk down Alpine Way, there's like a little trail that goes in here. This is not where the water stop is, but you can take this trail. And then when you get to the end, instead of going right like it shows here, you should be able to cut left through the woods here. Lars told me the other day that there's a little off the beaten path kind of trail, or you can at least see the water stop from there, so you could cut through. You can also just come further down Alpine Way and walk in the opposite direction the runners are coming through. You'll be there before them and get to the water stop that way. So they'll come under the bridge, and your job's just to get them on this road, turn them the right way. Runners also come back through later. So they'll come through this way up top and go down, and they'll come through this way when they come through after going out to Lost Lake, and they'll come down. Okay, so that's fairly easy. No one's splitting off a different direction. We're just making sure that they're turning onto Alpine Way on the way down, and when they come through, they're going the right way. Okay, so out to Lost Lake. Again, you'll see a parking spot right here, but you could probably drive up closer to launch your kayak there. There's only one kayaker. Keep in mind, this swim goes both directions, so you're going to stay your entire time. You'll see swimmers coming this way, left to right, and then swimmers later on coming back the other way. Now, in this position, you may see swimmers both directions because of how far it is into the course. It is a little bit of a hazard. They're swimming oncoming, so we've told them, sight properly, give people plenty of room. If you positioned yourself in the middle, if you feel that's safe, given how many athletes are out there, we're going to leave that in your hands to decide. But if you are in the middle, then maybe they're swimming on your left. If you're facing this direction, they'll be on your left going this way, and then on your right going that way, and you can kind of keep them apart. But yeah, just overall, show them where the exit is. There on courses like this, there'll actually be a big orange exit flag on each side because when they enter going this way, there's an orange exit flag here. And since it's a two-way swim coming back, they'll see one on the other side as well. So don't be confused by that. On those, you'll see one on each side. So yeah, just keep them on course here and keep them kind of knowing that they got to look out for swimmers in both directions. This parking also pertains to this flagger here. So this flagger here, we will likely come out and talk to you. This can be a bit confusing. This is only World Series out here, red swim caps and bibs. However, they're going to come up and do this loop out here, then go out to Lost Lake, then come back and have to come down. So there's going to be probably a lot of arrows on the ground and flags and all that kind of stuff, and it may be confusing. If you look at this as you come out of the parking lot and you walk up to this position, you will be going the same direction as the first runners when they first come out. So you should be able to look at this and see, okay, it's pointing them this way. And then you turn around, okay, it's pointing them this way, then this way. So if you can discern this on your own and it seems like it makes sense to you, that's fine. But if you have any doubts whatsoever, please call us. Again, this will probably be a position we come out to you before you ever see any kind of runner and it's explained to you thoroughly because it's very important and you may not be able to work that out on your own. Regardless of whether you know what's going on there or not, please be out there and then, wait for us or call in. Okay. For those of you at Lost Lake, parking, it's pretty simple right here at Lost Lake Park. Water stops right here, self-explanatory. Just walk on over, launch on the beach, and then there's two of you. And this is just a directional swim, one direction. So two kayaks decide who's doing what. So then once they're out there, they come back, they re-swim Green Lake, come back through the water stop here. A lot of these water stops, like the one at Green Lake, I'm sorry, there isn't one at Green Lake, my bad. But this one up here, you'll hit both ways, like I said. Then they come down, they do the other side of Alta Lake. For those of you in this swim and kayaks, you're going to park up here. Or actually, I'm sorry, this Blueberry Dock flagger. This parking is just for this flagger here. You're going to park on the road. It's the end of this road is just a roundabout circle, a cul-de-sac, I'm sorry. So you can park as close as you can. There may be a lot of cars there. You may have to walk a little bit. You're going to get on this trail, and this trail will take you right down to Blueberry Docks. I think it splits here. I can't really remember if this is correct, how this is showing it, but once you get on this trail, just keep heading this way towards the water. It may be a left turn. It may just kind of veer to the left, whatever. But this big dock here, they're going to come in, and there should be. Last year, we put signage up on this dock, but for whatever reason, it got either taken down or it fell down, whatever. Same thing this year. We're going to mark it. We're going to mark it the best we can. But if you come down here and there's no marking or it fell down, you can put it back up. But as a flagger, you're going to direct them to get in on this dock to hug the shore the best they can. We have them out a fair amount here. I do think there's going to be some green buoys in this lake, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's this lake. So there's going to be probably one on this side because they are long swims. So if you're in this first swim and you're one of the first kayakers here, you could direct them to just swim towards the green buoy because once they get, I think it's green, maybe orange, maybe red, but there'll be a buoy out there. They can swim towards that first buoy. Then once they hit that, they should be able to see the orange flag flag. Same here. As long as that buoy's in the water, and it should be, they'll jump off the docks, direct them to kind of stay towards shore, but hug the shoreline all the way down to the end of the lake. They're swimming south this direction now. But there should be a buoy they can swim to, and then from there, they should be able to see the flag going further down. Be careful on these swims when they get in that they don't see a flag on the opposite side for the other swim and swim towards that. Um, when they start either of these swims, whether they're swimming north or swimming south, they should not be able to see a flag right away. Most people won't. It should be too small. So that's why we have those buoys. So direct them on the dock to swim down. Kayakers are here. They swim down, they get out. Um, this water stop here, this is your own little parking right here. This water stop is 6. And so you park right here, just walk to this water stop. I don't know why it's this far out. It should be right on this red line. All right, so we're getting towards the end here, guys. Thanks for hanging with me. Um, I believe, and I'm sorry, if you're the swim, one of the other kayaks that are on this lake that's unmentioned in this, I believe we have like 7 kayaks on this. If you're there's one here that, and I believe it's one of, there's 4 that look like they're with this second swim on Alta Lake. There's a connection here that the experience has right here. So you may need to kind of look at that. They'll get in here and they'll just cut right over. But you may not need to worry about that. They're going to have an arrow. It's a super short swim. But if you're this first kayak or actually be the last kayak on this second swim on this lake, you may see some people swimming over like this. Uh, don't worry about that. That's okay. Just kind of keep an eye on them, but they should have purple bibs and they'll be in the experience and they'll just exit right here. So, all right. So they come in and do the last swim, which is on Needle Lake. That's swim 8. It's a repeat. Um, and that is it. When they exit, they'll hit this water stop right here. If you're water stop 1, remember you're water stop 7 as well. So you're going to stick around and then they'll get out and they'll turn and they'll go right to the finish. Okay. So if any of that's confusing, I'm sorry, guys. Feel free to ask questions to your managers. They'll email us or we'll answer them and they can get you the answers you need. I'll have them share my email with you and a couple other people so you can email us if you have any questions. That should be it. I appreciate everyone's help and everything you guys do. Have a good one, guys.